Thanks for joining me today on Beau's Corner. We're going to talk about something I've been hearing a decent amount about lately. Are we headed towards another roaring 20s? Similar to what happened in the early part of the 20th century in the early 1900s. Well, interestingly enough, there's some similarities from what we've experienced with this pandemic, with COVID over the last year, to what was going on back in 1918. We've all heard about the Spanish flu, but we were also at war with World War I. And during 1918, most people were literally sheltering in place, social distancing. You had austerity measures in place. People weren't spending as much money because they weren't traveling around at all. And what happened was by 1919, the pandemic of the Spanish flu was largely behind them, and they started to move around. For instance, in 1918, only 2.8 million people went to baseball games. By 1919, 6.9 million people went to baseball games, more than double. And as we rolled into the roaring 20s, people started to really travel around the country. They wanted to see the country. They were buying cars and they started to move around. So if we look at where we are today, which is interesting, because of COVID and the austerity measures that everybody took, our savings rate have gone from on average 7% to almost 13% this year. We have a tremendous amount of savings that I think individuals, as they become comfortable with COVID passing, if you will, and I think that's going to be largely attributable to the fact of vaccinations becoming more and more readily available over the next several months, you're going to see a lot of pent-up demand and a lot of people moving around. If you want to look at a comparison, we look at China. They've largely controlled COVID. If you look at their airlines, the airlines are down only 1.9% year over year in China as far as travel goes. But at the end of 2020 in the U.S., we were down 59%. So we've got a long way to go. And I think over the next year to 2 years, you're going to see airlines recover fully. As the old saying goes, history doesn't exactly repeat itself, but it certainly does rhyme. Thanks for joining and have a great day.